Michael Caine and Roger Moore host a...
Hello, I'm Laurie Pike. It's time to Ring My Bell. Ring My Bell is television designed to reach out and touch and be touched by you. All you have to do is ring our bell on 071-261-3535 and ask to speak to one of the 5 gorgeous guests who have dedicated their Friday evening to you. So let your fingers do the walking and work that phone. All calls are charged to you at the standard rate, and hello, do not call Channel 4. The number is 071-261-3535. Okay, let's meet tonight's guests. In our political ding-dong booth, we have one of the last great figures of left-wing socialism, Arthur Scargill. Did Scargill's kamikaze attack on Margaret Thatcher contribute to the collapse of Britain's unions? And what does he think about the worldwide demise of socialism? Well, he's here to talk about it. But maybe you would prefer a heart-to-heart talk with tonight's agony aunt, Val Lehman, who plays B. Smith, the top dog, on Cell Block H. After countless years behind the bars, not only has Val become a cult celebrity, she has also become quite active on improving prison conditions and campaigning against drugs. Ring Val's bell. In our spiritual booth, we have pop star, spiritualist, and unofficial statesman Boy George. Since he pole vaulted to fame a decade ago, he has never been at a loss for words. Now he's absolutely fierce, absolutely queer, and absolutely here to take your call. In our celebrity booth, we have the busty belle of the carry-on comedies, Barbara Windsor. What I'd like to ask Barbara is, what is it really like being a sex symbol? I mean, doesn't it get to be a drag? And it must be hell being the toast of the tabloids. Or is it? I don't know, ask Barbara. Finally, in our moral dilemma booth, we have Kim Cotton, who is the chairman of a surrogacy helpline. She has plenty to say about the ethical pros and cons of surrogacy because she herself is the surrogate mother of 3 children, including twins. Ring Kim's bell, 071-261-3535. Call now. Ring My Bell is a show in which you, the viewer, get to do the talking. It's by you, for you, and we count on you to make those calls. However, I must warn you that although we are live, you must not push your luck, otherwise you can expect a dial tone. So put on your thinking caps, get nice and comfy, and ring our bell. Also, our guests are full aware of the fact that they're fabulous, so don't bother calling if that's all you have to tell them, okay? Let's go for a quick booth hop just to show you how this extravaganza works. Let's go.
The fund was $1,137,000. We received from it between 1985 and 1989 $1.6 million. It's not bad going.
So you personally made no money whatsoever then?
Personally, during the course of the miners' strike and after, I lost a considerable amount of money. I didn't receive any wages between March 1984 and March 1985, and then the receiver refused to pay me any salary between March 1985 and November 1985 because I wouldn't cooperate with him on the instructions of my conference. So I lost wages for 1 year and 8 months.
How did you manage to live?
Members are going to be there, actually at the Birmingham Institute, and we're going to try and get prisoners started again from episode 1.
Yeah. Oh,
so £5 a head, you can come along and you can meet us all.
How long ago did the show actually finish being made?
They stopped making it in 1986, but I actually left the show in 1983, on Friday the 13th of May to be precise.
Oh, really? Just do us a favour, give away to Gary MacDonald of Manchester.
Who?
Gary MacDonald of Manchester.
Oh, you want to go, hello Gary, how are you?
He's just so he knows that I've been on.
You just want to...
Problems or asking too many questions, which is what I always found I was up against at school, you know. I just always found that I felt really patronised and sort of, you know, I felt like I was using half of my brain most of the time.
I can remember religious education at school just seeming a total mystery. Some old man in glasses, you know, at the front, mumbling away all sorts of nonsense.
It's really noisy in here, you have to talk up. It's like, next to me is B. Smith from Prison Cell Block H.
Oh, she's a noisy woman, isn't she? That
really noisy, especially in real life. And Barbara Windsor on the other side.
Job, and they were very hard to make, really hard. I mean, we worked extremely hard. Everybody thinks that, you know, because obviously we're getting it across really well because people say, oh, didn't you have a lot of fun making them? Yeah. You know, but they were extremely hard. We worked under ridiculous circumstances.
But nevertheless,
Excuse me?
private bits of your body, whereas the men, maybe
sorry, I
you
can't
saw
hear you, darling.
their underwear.
Excuse me?
You maybe saw men's underwear, but you never saw private bits of men's bodies on the carry-on film.
I'm sorry, I can't. A male and a female.
And would you advise them to go into surrogacy?
Not really. I wouldn't advise them anything. I would just, you know, if that's what they feel they want to do, they may want to do it. I don't know.
And you'd help them all the way?
I think so. I think they have to live their own lives.
Right.
So, I don't know. I've never thought about it, really.
Well, it's a very interesting area, and I think that, well, do you think it should be promoted in any way?
I don't think surrogacy should be promoted. I just feel that it should be there as backup for people that have hit the end of the line on their IVF circuit.
Isn't this fun, Geraldine? That's how it works. And if you're having trouble through getting on the line, fax my bell at 071-261-3444. Okay, I'll share some of the faxes with you and make sure that all the faxes go to our guests. And now let's go for a little bit of a deeper eavesdrop and see what's going on down in cell block Val.
16th of December. And you can come, there's going to be a looky-likey competition too. You can come dressed as B. Smith if you like.
Oh, I think I'd come dressed as Vinegar Tits.
Oh, I see. All right then. Well, you could do that as well.
Yeah. And,
you into uniforms, are you, darling?
Will Vera be there?
Well, Vera be there? Well, actually, yes, she probably will be.
Oh, great. Well, that's a surprise.
There'll be an enormous number of prisoner stars there.
All right.
And it's at the Birmingham Institute on the 16th of December, because they're actually putting the last episode to air in the central viewing area then.
Uh-huh. Oh, well, I'll bring all my fabulous friends to see you.
Well, why don't you?
Oh, I'd love
to
see you
there.
Okay.
What part of England are you ringing from?
I'm from London.
From London?
Yeah.
Do you have any burning questions you want to ask?
I've got to be honest with that. Good. I do disagree with that strongly, nuclear altogether.
Well, at least that's one point we totally agree about.
Yeah, that's true.
And of course, you know the nuclear power industry get the equivalent of £50 a tonne by way of a subsidy. If we got that, we could give our coal away, make a profit, and we could declare at the end of each year higher profit levels than British Telecom. We should really want BT to telephone somebody and tell them.
Yeah, we'll say in this town we could do with some more industry, because as it is now, we got car factories, 2 car factories local, yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what we ought to do. We ought to get the Labour Party, when it becomes the next Labour government, to do 3 things. First of all, to show the same commitment to our class that the Tories show to their class. Secondly, sack the coal board from top to bottom, who have really harassed our members during the miners' strike and since. And thirdly, give a firm commitment that they're going to expand and develop the coal mining industry, and that means the reopening of pits that have been closed in parts of Britain, including Wales, and the development of new pits. And certainly there are many new pits that could be opened in South Wales. I know that for a fact, because I discussed the possibility in 1984 with the then area director.
Yeah, do you know, like this Merthyr super pit, is it Merthyr? What's happened to that? Is that super pit around there gone?
You're talking about the Margam mine.
That's it.
Of course, Margam and a number of other collieries, which the coal board wanted to introduce on the basis of getting a 6-day working week, were what we said a sprat to catch a mackerel.
I really like the remixes of Generations of Love. I think that's a beautiful song.
Yeah, that was a complete accident. We went into... In fact, someone did a remix, and they'd done something wrong to the bottom end of the track. So I went in to add a bass drum, and I had this programmer guy, and because I paid him 750 quid.
Yeah, you ended up with a really great remix, I thought.
I know, it turned out really good, because it was all an accident, but it actually turned out really well.
So do you think there's going to be a major new switch in musical direction in the 90s now?
Well, I think there's going to...
Soul predicted a new decade, didn't they? Look where they are, boring.
Who's this?
You know, Soul to Soul, their new album, A New Decade, 1991, how boring.
Well, the thing is, I think the saddest thing that happened to them was Karen Wheeler leaving.
She's great, I think. She was the life force.
Well, yeah, but no, I think that if they find somebody like her... See, I think people need a sort of central image. They need a focal point with a group.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think that all these groups that are tried... I mean, I shouldn't say this, because like the Easy Posse have got an album coming out soon with all people singing on. But they're all good singers, actually, so... and it works because...
The thing about acid was, at first it was nice to sort of take the focus away from, like, one pop star and make it music for everyone, going to clubs, not dressing up, having a good time without having to be in high fashion and stuff, and everyone sort of being equal, but now I'm a bit bored of that.
Well, the thing about that as well, that it attracted a lot of people that wouldn't normally have come to the West End, a lot of kind of really druggy sort of types.
I must just say, while you're on, this is Paul Bakerlight from Brixton, and I'm over at my friend Flossie's on the North Wickham estate. She wants me to say
Are we on?
Say hello to Floss.
Oh, we're on air now.
Say
We haven't even
hello,
heard
Floss.
Okay. Well, I take your point. I mean, I personally don't agree much because, you know, it's just too much to take on board, I think. But, I mean, I take your point anyway. Thanks very much.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Half a buttock and one right boob.
Hey, did you show that right boob? I didn't see that one.
Just you got to look very quickly.
Oh God, I didn't see it. Was that in the one with the toothpaste?
What? No, that was camping.
Oh,
Yeah.
I missed that one.
Oh,
Well,
there you go.
I'll tell you
You're
what,
about the
there's-
only
it's
person in
just
the
as well my
country that
girlfriend
has.
didn't see that one. I thought she would have had even more of a go at me, you know?
Anyway, you take care.
Oh, you bet I will
I
do.
love. God bless,
Love
darling.
to see you too.
Bye, love.
Bye then.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Oh, well, that's it. Hello.
Hello, it's Adam.
Hello, Adam.
How are you?
How are you?
I'm alright, thanks.
Where
How
are you from?
I'm from East End of London,
Oh,
Hackney.
great, my manor.
I've been waiting for quite a long
Excuse
time,
me?
actually.
Pardon, darling?
I've been waiting for ages.
Oh, have
Been waiting
you?
for about 40 minutes.
Oh, well, I'm glad you got through.
I want you to do one thing for me, Barbara.
Excuse me?
I want you to say saucy for me.
You want me to do what?
Say saucy.
Saucy?
Yeah, go and say saucy. You're saucy, Adam.
Oh, you're saucy, Adam. Does that turn you on?
Hello, Barbara. It's Laurie Pike. I'm eavesdropping on your line.
Oh, hi, Laurie.
How are you? It sounds like you have a fellow East Ender, but that you can't even understand his accent.
No, but he said, would I say he's saucy?
No, he said he wanted you to say something for him, and I wanted to remind him that this is not a show to call up and make people say things. It's a show to call up and ask questions.
I
famous
see.
line, isn't it,
Oh, I
though?
see. Well, ask me a question.
I'll ask you a question since since he can't cut to the chase. You have occupied such an important part in the British theater, etc. With all the work that you've done, who is the next Barbara Windsor? Who do you think is like the next Barbara Windsor?
Oh, I don't know. I just think that you've got to look for somebody else totally different, really.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I always think Lisa Maxwell's great. I think she's terrific. You know Lisa who does the BBC television series? Well, I think she's great. Yeah, she's terrific. She has her own show on a Saturday night.
Really?
Yeah, I think she's great. I think Sammy Fox is terrific.
Yeah?
I think she'd be a good actress.
Well, tell you what, I'm going to let you get back on the phone with your poor caller who's been waiting.
Okay, Lauren.
Okay,
Thanks,
take care.
darling. Thank you, dear.
And let's go see what's going on in Arthur Scargill's
Hello,
booth.
sweetheart. Thanks for waiting.
Independent fund that we established to enable bills to be paid on behalf or for the benefit of the NUM, which couldn't be paid by the union because it was either in sequestration or in the hands of a receiver. During that period, we also received considerable help from organisations in Britain, such as the Transport and General Workers Union, such as the National Union of Public Employees, the Railway Workers, and the Fire Brigades Union. And essentially, the argument against me, the charge against me, was that the money that we got into an independent fund and a separate fund, instead of paying off bills on behalf of and for the benefit of the union, they're saying that we should have given it to the sequestrators. Well, I can tell you the leaders of the unions who gave that money have made it absolutely clear that they would not have given that money had it been in the knowledge it was going to be given to a sequestrator or a receiver. They only gave that money on the clear understanding that it was going to be used to pay bills on behalf of the union or for the benefit of the union. And secondly, on the question of the Soviets and the Soviet money, that's been dealt with several times. There's no question that the money that was sent from the Soviet Union was sent to an international account in Warsaw for international purposes, and that's been very clearly demonstrated by documentary evidence that's been seen by the Soviets themselves. Out of that fund, and they donated into that international fund $1,137,000 United States dollars, the British miners had between 1985 and 1989 a total of $1,600,000 United States dollars, which is considerably in excess of that. And since that time, they've received well over another $1 million from that same fund. So there's no question that Britain's miners have benefited to a tremendous extent from the international fund, which was established to help miners all over the world. I hope that's helped clear up the question.
Yeah, thank you. What advice would you give to, like, a young socialist, you know, starting out, you know?
I'd give advice to a young socialist that they should do everything in their power to ensure, first of all, the election of a Labour government, but one that's committed to socialist policies. And I would advocate that you do everything within your power to tell the Labour leadership to stop abandoning socialist policies, to stop abandoning the commitment to nationalisation.
It's funny actually, because I mean, I normally go to places where I know most people, and
I tell you what, George, I know this is naff, but you're on now. Can you wave to me and my friend Sloss in Peckham?
I'm being asked to wave.
It's tacky, isn't it?
The thing is, like, I go to places where I know everybody, so...
Hello, Boy George. Can I cut in on this conversation briefly?
Embarrassed. I'm still here.
Hi. Can I ask the caller to just hold on for 1 second?
Hello, Laurie. We love you.
Hi, honey. Listen, hold on, because I got a really great fax for Boy George. Can I read it real quick? It's from a girl named Irene Phillips. She's 22 years old, and she says she's interested in Krishna, and she wants to be personally recruited by you. And I thought it was kind of interesting.
Don't talk to me.
Boy George, do you find a lot of people wanting to get into it because of you and not because of what it is?
Well, there's two ways to look at it. If somebody wants to get into it because they're interested in the philosophy, that's fine. But if they think it's a way of getting close to me, then they should forget it straight away before they even start. Because, you know, that's the wrong reason to get into anything.
To get close to Laurie Pike, that's what I want to know.
What's that?
I want to get close to Laurie Pike.
Well, honey, this is as close as you're going to get. I'm going to let you get closer to Boy George
Laurie,
now.
Please, can I talk to you?
You know, let me just answer that question. Yeah, shut up for a minute.
You two carry on, and because I want to carry on with Val Lehman.
My advice would be to read about it. Buy some books, read about it.
Okay, listen, I'm gonna have you read your caller's beads right now, okay? You guys carry on, okay?
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay. Val?
Yes?
Hi, it's Laurie Pike. Sorry for interrupting.
Oh, that's all right, Laurie, anytime.
You got a fax from a guy named Mark who wants to know, let's see, every time I tune in to Prisoner Cell Block H, there's always someone from Neighbours or Home and Away on. Is there a lack of actors and actresses in Australia? What's going on?
Well, you're watching the product of one production company who tends to use the same stable of actors over and over again. But believe me, there are an awful lot of very good actors in Australia who never work in soap opera at all.
Right.
Because they wouldn't be seen dead in it.
Right. All right, well, I'm going to let you carry on with your caller.
Okay,
Thanks for answering the question. Goodbye.
Bye.
Great. Meanwhile, you stay tuned, and please ring our bell whether you would like to have a political ding-dong with Arthur Scargill, a cell block confessional with Val Lehman, an inspirational rasp with Boy George, a celebrity chat with Barbara Windsor, or baby talk with Kim Cotton. Stay tuned, 071-261-3535. Give us a buzz.
Slice 4 ounces of small white mushrooms. Then finely chop half a bunch of Sainsbury's salad onions. Heat some olive oil in a pan. Now, pop in your mushrooms and onion. Add 1 packet of Sainsbury's sliced pepperoni sausage. Cook for 2 to 3 minutes and remove from heat. Meanwhile, crack 6 large eggs into a bowl. Beat and add 4 ounces of grated cheddar cheese. Sainsbury's mature cheddar is best. Then add a little chopped parsley. Pour the mixture into the pan and cook until the egg firms up. Place the pan under the grill to brown the top. Serve with a green salad and, of course, a good Sainsbury's Bergerac.
Sainsbury's, everyone's favorite ingredient. Because we've spent the time creating the heart of your meal, you can spend your time together. Menu Master for 2, new from Bird's Eye. Share the taste of freedom.
One new Duracell battery. One old Duracell battery at the end of its long, long life. Close your eyes. Up. No peeking. Okay, open them. Now, which is which? With the new Duracell pack, you can see for yourself. It holds the new battery tester, which shows if a battery is good or needs to be replaced. The new one, the old one. It's that simple. The new battery tester, free from Duracell.
Hello, we're back, and our qualified receptionists are right here to take your call and put you through to either Arthur Scargill, Val Lehman, Boy George, Barbara Windsor, or Kim Cotton. Meanwhile, we jabbered away during the break, and I also got some of your fax questions answered. Number one, I am a woman, not a man. Nellie, thanks for faxing 2 weeks in a row with that question. And to Pete from Glasgow, Barbara Windsor says her breasts are 36B, down a bit with the worry. Meanwhile, we asked all of our callers what they thought about outing, and Alex here is going to give me the answer. What were the results? Were they...
Well, 55% said they were definitely against outing.
Against it, so
yes,
it's
Laurie.
A close lead. I mean, very back and forth.
Yeah,
Hello.
it's close, but, you know, they definitely came out against.
All right.
They didn't like it.
Okay, terrific. Well, let's move along to Arthur Scargill's booth because he got a very interesting question earlier that we didn't get to really expound upon. Excuse me, Arthur, can you put your caller on hold, please? I'm sorry. Can you put your caller on hold real quick? Oh, there. Arthur Scargill's line, please hold. Hi, just put it right there. No one will bug you. Earlier, I think you were on with a caller and you were talking about how you did not support solidarity. Is that true still?
I don't think I was on with a caller at all.
You weren't?
No.
Oh.
But if you want to ask me the question, I'm certainly delighted to answer it.
Okay.
Well, I opposed Solidarność in Poland, and I opposed Lech Wałęsa, and I said in 1983 to the hysterical comments of the British press that Lech Wałęsa and Solidarity were anti-socialist and would do considerable harm, in my view, both to the economy of Poland and to the advancement of socialism. I said it was anti-socialist. I also said that Solidarity was not a trade union, it was a political movement. I was criticised by the British trade union movement, I was criticised by the British government, and yet some years afterwards, I think it was in about 1989, Mrs. Thatcher went over to Poland and said that Solidarity is not a trade union, it's a political movement. And you now see that Lech Wałęsa is president of Poland, no longer makes any pretense of his anti-socialism, and has been reported, certainly in 1984, as being in support of Margaret Thatcher and in opposition to Britain's miners who were out on strike. That's hardly the kind of tactic that you would expect from a trade union leader. That's why I condemned them.
Right. It must have been one of the only cases in which you and Margaret Thatcher saw eye to eye about something, too.
Oh, no, there are many things that Margaret Thatcher and I see eye to eye about. We see eye to eye about the class system. She supports her class, I support my class. My only concern is that the Labour leadership don't give the same commitment to our class when they get to be the government of the day that Thatcher and her government gave to their class. That's what I want to see from the next Labour government.
Okay. Thank you for clearing that up. You can go back with your caller.
Pleasure.
Thanks. Let's go see what's going on in Boy George's booth.
I've got there.
I'm glad that wasn't on air because I could have made a big fool of myself.
You're on air now.
Yeah, I can see myself. How do I look?
Yeah.
Makeup? So, well, you know, you don't sound like the sort of typical, you know, I mean, people's idea of a Christian is someone really born again. In fact, I've got a friend called Alan, if you're watching Alan, hi, who's also a born-again Christian, and he remixed a record with me on Thursday, and he's not at all boring. And you don't sound boring either, but, you know, you do get the idea that Christians are quite boring. So here's your chance on air. Here's your chance on air to defend the fact that whether Christians are boring or not.
Oh, thank you. You're just people, individual people, and yes, I'm sure there are boring people in all sorts of religion or out of religion. Yeah. And I guess that if you're going to get interesting people like you and me, who are interested in it and can show how much fun and love there is in having a faith, then a lot more people are going to want it.
But I think my faith is a lot wider than yours.
Oh, thank you.
No,
I
didn't mean that as a kind of insult.
Yeah,
I mean, I even go to these like Sufi meetings. You know what Sufism is? It's like a non-fundamentalist branch of Islam.
Oh.
And in fact, I never thought I'd ever get interested in anything like that. But I go to this thing on Friday sometimes where they sing, and it's just fantastic. I mean, as a musician, to go and listen to these people like singing and chanting, it's incredible. It's really incredible. No microphones, the most incredible harmonies that you've ever heard in your entire life. Really, really beautiful.
Is that, what sort of, is it very lively music, or is it...
No, it's just what they do is they chant to Allah, but they all do it, and it's almost like, you know, you think they've rehearsed it for like hours, but it's just really natural, and they all kind of take different notes. I don't want to do it on air.
Go along with what you say, Kim. What do you think of those cases in the States where the women have changed their mind and they carry on, and this, they become very emotional, and
yes.
The last case where there was a woman doctor and a...
Well, I feel absolutely nothing for the surrogate. I feel that she should thought it through very carefully. Surrogacy is not something that you enter into lightly. You have to think about it extremely carefully. It's a total commitment. At the end of the day, you have your own children to go home to, and she has nothing. And all you've done is dangle the carrot, really, in front of her, and then you say, well, I'm sorry, I've had the baby now, you're not having it. That, to me, is the most wicked thing you can do.
Do you think that the media and this sort of, we've entered the age of hysterical childbirth, if you like, they make it a big drama, whereas once upon a time people did so many other things discreetly that no one ever knew about.
That's right.
And that things happened, but no one got to know of it.
Well, it's just that now, I mean, the press know everything. I mean, look at the royal family. Everything they do is reported. It never used to be like that. As you say, it was discreet. But nowadays, I mean, everyone knows everything about everyone else. And, I mean, I was naive enough in the beginning, 7 years ago, to think that I could have baby cotton without anyone even noticing. But it was not to be. But, I mean, I have no regrets about the publicity because it has brought infertility into the limelight. And now, you see, it is 1 in 7 couples. And that's an enormous amount of people.
You know, that will have... There you go.
So has Reggie Cray resigned himself to the fact that he is now going to actually serve out his full sentence?
No, I don't think so. I think he really thinks he'll get parole. But I think he was disappointed. I think he thought he'd get it this year or next year, you know. And anyway, he's not going to, is he? He's got to wait till 1995. So it does look like he's going to...
Could you just say hello to Tony, because we're now on telly?
Hello, Tony.
Thank you.
Hello, good to see you.
So,
anyway.
So he has resigned himself to the fact that
Well, no, I don't think so. I can't really talk to... No, there's always hope. You've always got to hope. He's not that kind of person. Anyway. It's good to talk to you, Tony.
Okay,
you take care. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Oh.
Hello?
Barbara.
Hello? Who's
Barbara,
this?
it's Laurie Pike. I'm ringing your bell.
Oh, hi, Laurie.
I think you have a caller too, though. I didn't actually ring it. I just picked it up to eavesdrop. Is there a caller on the line?
No, there's not.
Oh, okay. Well, let me just ask you a question anyway.
Uh-huh.
I read in your book that you actually are visiting either one or both of the Crays in prison. Is that true?
Yes, that was the caller just asked me that question about Reggie Cray. Did I see them? And I said, yes, I'd been to see Reggie.
Right. When's the last time you saw him, actually?
It was about 18 months ago. And we're very disappointed that he's been turned down for parole, and it's going to be 95 before he can apply again.
Right. Do you think that a lot of his old friends, I mean, are all his old friends visiting him, or do you think he really found out who his friends really were from, the East End?
You do. I mean, you get 30 years, you do know who your friends are, don't you?
Yeah.
And I think he's very amazed.
Yeah.
That a lot of them don't ever go and see
him,
you know.
Okay, I'm going to let you take another caller. Thanks.
Okay, darling.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay, let's go see what's going down in Arthur Scargill's booth.
The worst possible kind in Britain, up to 1 million people could die.
Yeah.
That's no longer speculation, that's based upon fact. Anyway, lovely talking to you. I think I've got to move on now to the next
okay,
call.
Thank you very much, Arthur.
All right, bye-bye. And thanks for the comments about the speech. Bye. Hello, Arthur Scargill.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi. I just want to ask you if you've got any good jokes, really.
Got any good jokes?
Yeah, everyone else seems to be asking really heavy, boring questions.
I know they have,
Oh,
but
poor
I never get the ones about the jokes. I'll tell you this, I think the funniest thing that happened over the past 12 months was the departure of Margaret Thatcher.
Yeah, I think that's the
a
most
joke in
brilliant,
itself.
yeah. And I must admit that I'm totally on your side throughout the miners' strike. I was there working with the miners and the miners' wives and things like that, and I think everyone's giving you a hard time.
Yeah. But you know, it's very difficult to make jokes when people are asking serious questions, isn't it?
It is.
I mean, you can't really do it.
It is.
So you have to respond to people as they come along. I mean, I wouldn't have been surprised to get a phone call from Margaret Thatcher tonight. In fact,
Can you imagine?
can I imagine? I think one experience I did have with her daughter.
Really?
She interviewed me for a radio programme, and she'd obviously been very, very well briefed. Her first question was, Mr. Scargill, what does it feel like to be the most hated person in Britain? And my response was immediate. I don't know, my name's not Thatcher.
Right. Can you just say hello to Anna and Ben? They're in the next room.
Hello, Anna and Ben in the next room. How are you?
And I'm Sarah.
And Ben and Sarah, is it?
Yep.
All right. Nice to talk to you.
Well,
All
have
right.
a jolly good time on this programme.
Thanks very much. Lovely to hear you. Bye-bye.
Twice a week at 8:30 in the evening, and it went from 1979 till 1986. And in fact, it was the first Australian show sold to America that was not dubbed into Americanese, that we pioneered the Australian accent and idiom, and we had a viewing audience of 39 million.
Right. So, yeah, you saw on over here twice a week.
Yeah.
Yeah. And how often did you say in Australia?
Twice a week.
Oh, twice a week. Oh,
yeah.
Oh, yeah, right, yeah. And you didn't go on to other shows yourself, did you? Like swapping around to Neighbours or anything like that?
Sorry?
Did you go on to other shows yourself?
No, not other soap operas. Most of my work has been concentrated on the stage.
Right. So you
what I call real acting.
Oh, right, yeah. So you didn't go on to Neighbours or Home and Away?
No. I wouldn't work in that show to save my life.
Yeah, and how did...
Hello, fax for Kim Cotton. It's from someone she knows. It's actually the parents, the new parents, of the twin babies that she surrogated for them. So let's see if I can get her off the phone here. Hi, Kim.
In mine, definitely I would do it, yes.
Can I ask you to put your collar on hold real quick?
All right. Can you hold a minute? I've got someone talking. All right.
Great. This is from Linda and Robin Nelson, who you know very well. You've surrogated a child for them. It's interesting because I don't know if the callers know tonight that you also have two children of your own. Will these children be brothers and sisters to the children that you have, or how do you work that out?
No, these children are Linda and Robin's genetic children. I was only implanted with their embryos, fertilized already.
Right.
So I was only the incubator for their beautiful babies.
Right. I'm wondering, I don't know if anyone's brought this up tonight, but would you ever consider doing that for homosexual couples who are increasingly wanting to have children now?
Me personally, no. I have nothing against homosexuals at all, but I'm one of the old-fashioned breed that would like to see a mummy and a daddy. I mean, I know we have so many split marriages now, but I'd at least like to start out with a mum and a dad.
But on your surrogacy helpline, do you would you help match someone up who was looking for that?
It hasn't cropped up yet, but probably not.
Probably
I must
not.
be honest, yeah.
Well,
probably
okay.
not. Okay.
Terrific. I'll let you get back to your caller.
All right,
Thanks.
thank you very much.
Okay, and let's go back to Boy George's book.
I tell you what you should read. You should read this really good book. In fact, someone asked me today what I would buy Madonna for Christmas.
Okay, what is
And
it?
I said I'd give her this book called The Road Less Travelled by Scott Peck. It's like a serious psychology book. Scott Peck, you should read that. It's fantastic. It's not religious at all. It's not about anything, but it's just about people's problems, because I'm really into reading about, I love, like, you know, domestic drama and things like that. I love to hear about other people's problems, because I think human beings are very ununique, and you can learn. No, they are though. But I mean, we're all cliches, and you can learn so much from just reading about other people, because you see so much of your own problems when you read books like that.
You're saying that everybody experiences
well, we all go
the
through
same
the same
problem.
things. You know, we all fall in love and get broken-hearted, and you know, all those kind
Yeah,
of
but
things.
you can rise above that. There's another plane to live on, surely.
But you know, it's hard. Well, so you're not connected with anybody. You're not looking for anyone to love, or
No, not now. I've
But-
found...
oh, you can't spend your whole life being a, you know, celibate.
Like 11 years, actually.
Really?
Yes.
Could you wave hi to my mum, please?
Yes, that's how far behind it is.
Could you wave hello to my mum, because we're on the telly?
Hello.
She's a big fan too.
All right.
She got me into it. I've been watching it for about 3 or 4 years now.
So your mum started watching it first?
Yeah. And there's like lots of my friends around where I live.
So you don't think it's just a program for women? You think that men enjoy it as well?
Oh yeah, and teenagers. I'm only 17.
How old are you?
17.
17?
Yeah, and loads of my friends around where I live watch it as well.
So
hello, Val. Can I bust in your conversation real quick?
Yes, you can.
Hi, caller. You can join in on this three-way, but I'm just curious. I'm so fascinated by the fact that when you're in Australia, everybody thinks you're straight, and you came to England and everybody all of a sudden thought you were a lesbian. And I thought if you could give me more comments on what your take is on the Britons and their sexuality.
Well, the thing I find most extraordinary about the very conservative British and their sexuality is they hide it all. It's like these terribly, terribly conservative English gentlemen's suits, and I'm sure that underneath, instead of sort of, you know, casual boxer shorts, that there are these really sort of little thin black underpants and knickers and what have you.
Hello.
So I kind of wonder why they have to hide it, you know, why it's not sort of more out in the open. I think it would be healthier if it was more out there. More like the Americans are and the Australians.
Hear, hear. Well, I'll let you talk more about garter belts and what have you with your caller. Okay, thanks. And we're going to take you to Barbara Windsor.
Well, you should. No. I mean, in fact, it's been a very positive reaction. I think people are aware that I'm just not the carry-on lady, and that one has it hard and good life, you know, hard life.
I know the
And it's very good. It's actually you get it out your system, write it all down, and you solve a lot of problems for yourself.
But can you cover...
Excuse me?
Can you mention names, or is it better to put them in another...
Well, you have to be careful.
That's what I mean. I think people know, they think, oh my God, she's talking about me.
Oh, I know.
Do you know
what I mean? You just have to be a little bit careful. You know
yeah,
what I mean?
only...
But if you go to a top publishers, if you've got a good story, and then they will advise you.
Is that what you recommend to do?
Oh, absolutely, yes. You must go to a top publishers, and they'll also, you know, as I say, will advise you. And they've got lawyers who watch for all that.
Yeah.
So, anyway,
is your life a lot better now than it has been?
Excuse me?
Is your life a lot better now than it has been?
It's wonderful, yeah. It's really good.
Yeah, you look very well anyway.
You know, as I've got older, it's a good life. It's a good life. My lovely...
All the stupid rating systems that have been talked about with an income tax system. And if people are taxed on the basis of their income, it must be right. I mean, after all, if Ian Vallance has got £1,000 a week increase for being chairman of British Telecom, then he should be made to pay a large slice of that, rather than making the old age pensioner pay for all the problems and difficulties we have in our society. In that way, you would get a much fairer distribution, and you would certainly get a much better system of society. But there would be no difficulty, in my view, in a society which practiced a proper socialist view of getting people to share the wealth that is available. And that doesn't mean everybody gets the same wage. It means that people get, in return for the work they put in, a fair and reasonable value. But it doesn't mean that people get the obscene increases in pay that Vallance has got of £50,000 a year. Nobody can agree with that.
Do you think that those views they may stop people with ambition? People with ambition may, in that sort of situation, think, well, there's nothing for me to aim for.
No, it never stops people with ambition. In fact, you'll find some of the best people in the world have been people who've starved in garrets and attics, people who have turned out the greatest works of art, have been penniless, people who have made some of the greatest inventions have actually made them on a almost a threadbare budget. If you look back and look...
Hello, the best thing about this show is you never know what's going to happen once tongues start wagging. Unfortunately, they can't wag forever because they're almost out of time. So I'm going to run downstairs and have a quick chat with Boy George and see if he enjoyed his little time on our show.
Excuse me? Carry on.
Hi, honey.
Oh, that's older than time. Oh, we got Laurie Pike here.
Did you call her on hold?
Hold on a second, you have to wait, right?
All right.
I'm having a really nice chat with her, though. She's really sweet.
Oh, really?
She's a Christian. Oops.
What are you talking about? Religion again?
I'll tell you. We're talking about. Actually, what we're talking about contraception, and we're talking about women's role in society. That they no longer have to be baby-making machines, and just things like that. She's really sweet. In fact, 2 calls I've had have been good. Really interesting people.
Yeah?
Really sweet. The guy from Brixton High, and she's really sweet. And we're just talking about really interesting things. You know, I'm really surprised because I thought it was going to be all people ringing up saying, you know.
Hi, you're fabulous. I love your jacket. Can
I know
you
that
say hi to me? No, but keep your call on hold 1 second because I have another question to ask you. There's a while back you said that you'd rather have a good cup of tea than a good bonk. Is that still true?
Well, I actually said that to avoid questions about my personal life. At that time, I was having a really intense relationship, and you know, I didn't want people to know about it, so it was my way of avoiding getting into a sort of conversation with people about something I just was, you know.
Well, thanks for not avoiding all the conversations you had tonight.
That's great.
Thanks to all the guests. Thanks mostly to you for ringing our bells and making our show. Please do ring our bell next week, too. Night.
You got my number. Give
071-261-3535. Write it on the back of your hand and use it next week when we will have the publisher of the Sunday Sport, Dave Sullivan, co-chair of the Green Party